Long train journeys in the mid-1970s seemed to take forever, especially for a young, attractive woman traveling alone. Joan was heading to a pretty little village for the weekend, where friends had promised to meet her at the station that late winter evening. The papers said they hadn't caught him yet, all the more reason for Joan to be careful. 3 girls had been assaulted on this very train line in as many months. One of them had very nearly died. Police were looking for a man with short, blonde hair. Joan's hair was dark brown, shoulder-length and straight. She had an air of quiet class about her, well-groomed and composed, utterly unaware of what was coming. The train stopped at a station, just one more stop to go. Joan picked up a newspaper that had been left on the bench beside her and became absorbed in its pages. Someone entered the cabin and sat down opposite her. Joan glanced up from her paper and found a man of about 30 staring directly at her. His hair was cropped short and blonde. He wore a smart checked jacket over a light polo-neck jumper. His pale blue eyes were piercing, almost hypnotic. He smiled pleasantly, confident and relaxed, then politely looked away. Joan hid behind her paper, peeking over it now and then. The blonde man drummed his fingers on the seat, agitated, impatient. They were alone now in the small carriage, facing each other in silence. Above her hung the alarm chain, its stark warning notice catching the light. Joan glanced at the blonde man. He smiled. Realizing her skirt had risen, she straightened quickly, feeling suddenly uncomfortably exposed. As if performing a magic trick, the man produced a lighter from nowhere, striking sparks with a theatrical flourish. A moment later, a large wooden pipe appeared in his mouth, his gleaming eyes never once leaving hers. A red triangular sign on the window read, "No smoking." The train rocked on through the darkness. He struck a match from a box marked with a tall clipper ship, smoke curling around his face as he lit his pipe. He leaned forward slowly, reaching out, and Joan shrank back in fear. But he only wanted the newspaper resting beside her. She sighed with relief as he settled back, holding the paper up before his face. The carriage jerked and swayed. Joan was thoughtful. She slowly reached for her leather handbag, keeping a careful eye on the man behind his newspaper, and began to make her move to leave. She stood, reaching up for her case on the rack above. With a start, she felt his hand close over hers. He took the case down and handed it to her, his smile now gone, his face cold and serious. Joan got off at the next station. She crossed the empty platform, carrying her case, and stepped into the ticket office. She looked around. There was no one there to meet her. A lamp glowed inside the empty ticket office. The wall clock above her read 11:15. Then she flinched. A wooden pipe sat beside the ticket machine, just like his. A hand touched her shoulder from behind. Joan cried out and spun around to find a grey-haired station master peering at her over his glasses. "Miss Stevens?" he asked. "Yes," she answered warily. "Your friends called," he said. "Their car broke down. They want you to go on ahead. The key's under the mat. Turn right out of the station. It's the first house you'll see, about a quarter-mile on." He studied her with quiet concern. "Everything all right, miss?" "Yes, thank you," she said, and walked briskly off into the dark. Moments later, the tall blonde man in the checked jacket stepped into the forecourt, his eyes searching keenly through the darkness. "Just a minute," came a voice of authority. "Can I have your ticket, please?" The blonde man spun around to face him.